Hey guys, how's it going? Valk here. So it's been a while, end of the season was hitting really hard, so I decided to take a bit of an extended break, and now that with this new patch preview dropping, we're finally going to get a new look on some of the new heroes, and I kind of wanted to get back and, get back in touch with you guys and just break down my views on some of these newer heroes. So up first, we have Eligos. So from his base stats, we can already see that he's going to be a Pavel base stat unit. I'm already really alarmed because his self imprint is going to be crit chance, and when you have a speed DPS with self crit chance imprint, you already know this unit is going to be really, as we call it on Twitch, very cash game, right? Extra copies of the imprint is going to matter a lot, and you're going to be riding a lot of fast gear on this unit to essentially cleave your opponents, right? That's kind of what I'm expecting. Okay, going to his S3. He's going to attack the enemy, dispel 2 debuffs, and then inflict target and decrease defense while decreasing combat readiness by up to 50%. Soulburn to ignore FRES. This is a really scary kit of skills. Essentially, this is a single target ran S3, and with the added bonus of being able to just push back. So essentially, he's just fire ran, but he's single target. I think the fact that he has a 50% CR pushback is gross, and the ignore resistance when soulburn is just pure unethical, and it really helps him fight things that a ram would have difficulty with. Examples being a DJB, Destina, and Sage Ball. I don't think just because of this he's super crazy, but what I do think is that he becomes, at the very least, right, a solid tool for a lot of aggressive players to fight against defensive players that, like, for example, that, you might not be able to overcome a Destina, right? Sage Ball, like all of these units that Ran has issue with, now there's another opener that's going to solve that. So at the very least solid, and at worst, I think he's going to absolutely help Ran take over meta with cleave. But I still think turn 2 has a lot of tools to fight against this playstyle, in the form of Karina, as well as other blue units that's going to be able to help speed contest Eligos. So that being considered, overall, I think he's going to be fine, but let's go ahead and look at his S2. This is where the unit looks really scary, because when Eligos' teammate defeats an enemy, he's going to get increased attack, and he's going to activate Time Bomb, which is a skill that just attacks the enemy with the highest attack. This is really scary to me because, as somebody who likes to protect carries behind a lot of stealth tools, for example, like Landy behind Guiding Light, Spectre Tenebria behind just her innate stealth, having a highest attack unit being targeted is going to be really scary, and I think one of the few carries that can kind of bypass this is for tank down players playing Senya. But otherwise, he's going to be able to get an attack buff and then nuke your carry, and scale his own speed into it. Because he's 124 base speed and most likely used as a cleave opener, he's just going to be able to drop a lot of damage there. And then following up is going to be his S1. This one is going to be pretty crazy because when he gets perception, he's going to pull a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack as well. So not only is he going to be doing what it looks like a solid chunk of damage, he's also going to be like a C Lilius S1 polling. So overall, he's looking like a more aggressive version of Conqueror Lilius. So, less defensive pivots, but he's going to, in a all-in type of draft, provide a lot more value. I think his strength lies in the fact that he can deal with a lot of units that currently Cleave can't deal with, like Ran, but his weaknesses lies in a lot of blue units that exist within the meta, as well as the fact that he's purely single target, which means as long as you have a lot of other stealth units to counter him, like Lua, Faithless Luluca, right, and you cut his CR and you don't let him take a turn, I think to that end, there will be a lot of counterplay around Eligos, and I think whether you use him or play against him will be carried a lot by player skill expression and I mean how many copies of Guiding Light you have, right? So all in all, I would say on paper, he looks really busted, but because there isn't any intuitive combos with him, so for example, like Ran with Caesarea, Peyra with Ida, Zeo with Green Yufine, right? So because there isn't any natural combos with him, the only one that, you know, I've discussed with a few friends and guildmates, all we can think of is maybe with Closer Charles, who's kind of a low stonks unit in this current season. Overall, I think he's just, at the very least, be solid, but definitely has the potential to go really crazy. As far as his artifact goes, I don't think it'll be commonly used on him. It's going to be really strong. Value-wise, this is about a third to a half of a Sash Athenes plus a pen set, but better. Right? If you only have a base copy, it's going to be the exact same effect as a pen set, but it's going to most likely be used on a unit such as Green Pavel for him to be able to just snowball a lot of damage in an aggressive draft. I think it's a very good aggressive artifact, but for Eligos himself, most likely going to be using Guiding Light for most people. Otherwise, I think Eligos would be on Sash Athenes. Coming back to the rest of the patch, we'll be looking at a new side story coming up for Eligos and his release. Architect Luluca coming up, but that will be announced in 2 weeks, which means she'll be coming soon after that. And we'll have some new exclusive equipment for Blue Flan and Sinful Angelica. Blue Flan's new exclusive equipment will have one effect augmenting each skills. Out of all three, I think it's best probably to choose the one for S2, as 10% additional CR push will matter a lot, especially if you consider the fact that this will allow a lot of cleavers to essentially build their DPS 10% slower and funnel more gear score and damage into their build. And that damage is going to scale particularly hard because Blue Flan will not only provide attack up, but also a crit damage up buff, you know, essentially multiplying and snowballing those stats. And on top of that, having, you know, 8 to 16% effectiveness, I think definitely goes a long way into helping her defense break a lot of these tank down Soul Weavers that are going to be on resistance set. At the end of the day, I definitely don't think this changes the needle on how she behaves, but it's going to make it slightly stronger for you to cleave with Blue Flan, in that your units don't have to be built as fast, and she'll just be able to boost more damage into a lot of these cleave DPSs. As far as Sinful Angelica goes, I think as far as PvP, only the first effect matters. It's basically once she activates her skill 3, she'll just have a passive Sash Athenes effect, which, if you know anything about playing cleave or aggro, combat readiness is just one of the most important stats in the game. Her S2, or her skill of effect number 2 and number 3 mainly only go towards PvE, so I don't think it matters too much. Besides that, we'll be officially getting a nickname change ticket in the game, based on our leaked information, which means this is not final and could definitely be changed, but from the leaks I've seen, this is going to cost 1,200 Sky Stones, and you'll be able to use this once every 30 days, which, hey, if you have a nickname that you're trying to change, or you're one of those people that just like to switch it up every once in a while, hey, congrats. Like, there's one more Sky Stone sync in the game for you. Another thing that's a long time coming is pre-bans in World Arena will be made more clear on which player banned what hero. For most people, I don't think this matters too much, but for somebody who does a lot of data collection for World Arena, this is going to be able to help a lot. As far as upcoming banner goes, Blue Luluca and Spirit's Breath are coming over. Spirit's Breath, I think, is a pretty helpful artifact, mostly in PvE. It's going to help units like Auxiliary Lots do the infinite cycling combo, especially to be able to cheese out a lot of Abyss floors. Even without a maxed out copy, having 1 foreign Oxlots definitely lets them go sicko mode. Blue Luluca herself, not too much use. There's a few good slower Wyvern team that use that, but I think if you pull for the hero at all, it's most likely going to be imprints for top model Luluca. Following that, we'll also have Kayron and Shepherd of the Hollows. Kayron is going to be a really good anti-cleave unit for a lot of newer players who struggle against that playstyle. And the artifact is going to be good for a handful of thieves of all varieties. Remnant Violet, Aiden, and ML Charles come to mind. So if you're looking to find the best in slot artifact for those heroes, definitely keep an eye out for this banner. And the big one after that, coming in March 23rd, is going to be our first Lua rerun. This hero definitely took over RTA when she came out, and I think to this day she is one of those heroes where you either have to pick her, ban her, or have a really good draft specifically built against her. Very hard to deal with, and if you're looking to get into RTA, great hero for a pickup. And on the same day is when we'll be getting Eligos and an offer you can't refuse. I'm personally going to be polling for him and testing him, and if he's good, probably jump in the deep end and start polling for imprints. Personally speaking, I'm kind of excited to play him because I just really like cool male heroes. I don't think we have enough of these in Epic 7. But that being said though, I do think right now the meta is a little bit speed dominant. I think, you know, Smilegate usually does an okay job teetering between throwing out metas that favor speed and then swinging back into a meta that's better for like a slower tank down play style. But I think after the last few patches, there's definitely more tools, especially if you consider how good Omid is, right? There are definitely way more tools to play aggro than there are to play slow. So I definitely think the next couple of heroes, especially Architect Lika, if she could be a turn 2 support unit that can help fight against units like Omid and Eligos, I think that'll go a long way for the community. Alright, and that being said, the last part of the video is that the gift box password is going to be Dagger Sicar. I was able to come back from taking a good break, and I was able to give you guys some good information regarding this patch. If you guys enjoyed it or if you found it helpful, please give me a like. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me any questions in the comment section down below. I do read them all and I try to answer everything. And if you want to see me play or learn from me, you can always catch me at twitch.tv/Valky. Or if you have any questions and would like to just discuss with the community at large, you can always check the description and find our Discord server. I'm basically there every day. That being said, I hope the video was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great one and stay safe out there. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.